Hey Tamers, welcome back to Kizuna Games, coming at you today with our first place ShineGreymon deck build. If you're returning to this channel, you are no stranger to the fact that I love Greymon. It is my #1 deck. It is what I take to every store championship I can. It is what we went to nationals with, regionals. I love Greymon, all Greymons. There is no exception. Now ShineGreymon is a little bit different than our typical red Wargrey Gobur. There's a bit of DP reduction involved, a bit of security recovery, but being a yellow and red deck, it's kind of a mix of both worlds. But let's get right into it and talk about what our build is. Starting off with the level 2s, we are running yellow base with 4 copies of BT12 Koromon. Has the inheritable of when one of your yellow or red tamers becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1000 DP for the turn. Pretty straightforward. Tamer suspending is the name of the game after all. Moving on to our level 3s. We are running 4 copies of EX4 Agumon, the yellow-red Agumon, not to be confused with the black, of course. It has a Digivolve 0 cost from Koromon, which is good because we're running all Koromon. Otherwise, it's a 1 evolve. Start of your main phase, if you have a red or yellow tamer in play, gain 1 memory. This goes great with our tamers who can end up costing us a memory to kind of help offset that. It has the inheritable of once per turn, when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended, draw 1 card. Our next level 3, we are also running 4 copies of Agumon from BT13. This is the newest Agumon for the set, also a Digivolve 0 from Koromon. Main effect, once per turn, for the turn, one of our Marcus Daemon is also treated as a 3000 DP Digimon and can't Digivolve, allowing us to move up our tamers without having to spend the typical memory costs, and we'll get into that once we get into the tamers. Until then, its inheritable is once per turn, when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended, you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. That's a little bit of red there, rather than having a DP minus effect. It deletes by DP basing, with the yellow helping us get to that threshold. Our final level 3, which is of course our searcher, is Agumon from BT12, a 0 Digivolve cost from Koromon, surprise surprise. On play, reveal top 4 cards from your deck, add 1 Digimon card with Greymon in its name, and 1 Marcus Daemon among them to your hand. Place the rest of the cards at the bottom. And its inheritable is when one of your yellow or red tamers becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Now, I don't particularly have a problem with the level 3s that I am running, but there are some other options you can run. For example, if you're running a red base, or if you're not running the red base, since these all do evolve off of red or yellow, you can run Agumon X from BT9. This can evolve on either one of them, or red Koromons if you're running the red one. And that searches for additional Greymons as well, but with the tamer. What I want to do, which I don't currently have, but I'm looking for, slowly but surely, is the new Kudamons to go with this. Kudamon searches a yellow vaccine as well as a yellow tamer, which hits pretty much the rest of this deck. So I think that's another good opportunity searcher to run in this, especially if you're running the yellow base. I'm thinking maybe we run 2 of them somewhere, maybe reducing one of these Agumons. Possibly this one, because the main reason I like running this one, other than the memory gain, is the inheritables on this one is the draw card, because this deck doesn't have as much searching compared to previous Greymon decks, having just the 1 natural searcher. A lot of people like to use the Agumon X to make up for it. I like to use the extra draw card inheritable here, just to get a little bit more of a draw engine going. You do want to be careful about using this though if you are going against a Mirage player, as those non-optional drawing effects can kind of bite you in the butt with the memory gain if you're not careful. Moving on to our level 4s, we are running 3 copies of GeoGreymon from BT12. Has a Digivolve 2 cost as long as the Agumon has Dinosaur in its traits. This limits what Agumons you can play while you're going for that memory cost reduction. Going for a Reptile Agumon will instead cost you 3. Reptile Agumons generally being the red and black variants for the tie builds as opposed to the Marcus, but Agumon X is a dinosaur, for example. When digivolving, if you don't have a Marcus Daemon in play, you may play one without paying its cost. And then its inheritable is when one of your yellow or red tamers becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for the turn. Now I run this at 3 instead of 4, namely being I see him too much. Comparatively speaking, once you get your first Marcus out, his main effect is kind of a dead card. And because of how many Marcuses we play and how many cards play them for free, I felt like I was just seeing him more often than I really wanted to, comparatively speaking to other Greymons once the game gets going. So dropped him down to 3. It's not too hard to get the free Marcuses out in my opinion. The next level 4, we are running 3 copies of GeoGreymon from EX4. Also has the Digivolve 2 cost if Agumon in name and Dinosaur in trait. Start of your main phase, if you have a red or yellow tamer in play, gain 1 memory. And then heritable is when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended, draw 1 card. Again, I originally ran this guy at 2 and the BT12, GeoGreymon at 4. And I just felt like I kind of want to even that out a bit because once the Marcuses come out, this GeoGreymon starts getting a little bit more value compared to this one, especially with the draw inheritable since we're trying to offset the lack of searching options. Now that being said, our main go-to level 4 is the GeoGreymon from BT13. Digivolve from 2 with the appropriate Agumon, that being the dinosaur. When digivolving, search your security stack and you may play 1 red or yellow tamer card among them from there without paying the cost. If you did, recover 1. So this is just such a good card, not only for this deck, but just generic yellow red in general, because you're playing tamers, so you're playing like yellow angels, security control, heaven forbid, whatever you're playing, yellow hybrid, anything that plays involves tamers, especially like Mastamon can use this, which is kind of crazy. Even though you may not be getting a 2 evolve cost, evolving for 3 and playing a tamer, like a 5 cost tamer or a 4 cost tamer, you're still coming out net positive. You're getting them out of security, recovering, hopefully putting more better cards in security you'd rather see in there. It's just such a generically good card. And then it's inheritable. When one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended, you may delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. Again, seeing a bit of that red power in the inheritable compared to the yellow. For our level 5s, our main 5, we are running 4 copies of RizeGreymon from BT13. RizeGreymon has a Digivolve 3 cost from a GeoGreymon. When digivolving, you may play 1 Marcus Daemon from your hand without paying its cost. This is our go-to 5 because no matter what, we are playing a Marcus, and that's the name of the game. Get as many of those bad boys on the field as possible. All turns, when one of your red or yellow tamers is deleted, you may place a Marcus from your trash to the top of your security stack, helping make sure those Marcuses stay in the game. Its inheritable is the exact same effect, all turns, when a yellow or red tamer is deleted, put a Marcus back in security. Now we're staying a little short on the level 5 count at the moment. We are playing 2 copies of RizeGreymon. Digivolve 3 from a GeoGreymon, however, when digivolving, if you have a red or yellow tamer in play, gain 1 memory, making essentially a 2 cost. All turns, when one of your red or yellow tamers is deleted, place it back and place a Marcus into security. Can't place the exact same tamer unless you're just running all Marcus. Then its inheritable is the same thing, that when a tamer is deleted of the matching colors, place that Marcus back in security. And then we are offsetting this with 1 copy of RizeGreymon X antibody from BT9. Has a Digivolve 1 cost from a RizeGreymon, and when digivolving you can play a red or yellow tamer from your hand without paying its cost. Then, if it has RizeGreymon or X antibody in its Digivolution cards, one of the opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP for every red and or yellow tamer in play. And then your turn, for each tamer you have in play, this Digimon gets plus 1000 DP, making kind of a pseudo boss monster. Especially if you have quite a few tamers out now, this thing can be destroying bodies. Now you may find my level 5 count a little bit more unconventional, and I agree with you. This definitely may not be the most optimal way to play it, but my thinking on it, why I play it like this, is, of course, this guy is at 4 because he's the best one, plays Marcus no matter what, love him. This guy is kind of the runner-up here, has the exact same inheritable, so achieving the same goal when we get into our 6. But it's kind of like a turbo option, or a kind of a second best option if we're not seeing this guy. The RizeGreymon X, of course, is great for putting down even more tamers. You'll see a lot of lists maybe putting him at 2. Is he a great card? He's a fantastic card. I cannot argue it. I run him at 1 because I personally just kind of don't like to see him a lot of times. Sometimes I see him and I've already played all the Marcuses from my hand that I possibly can. And he's just kind of a 1 cost evolve for no purpose. And that just happens sometimes. And you may be okay with that. You maybe don't have as many whiffs with it as I do. But these are just kind of the 5s that I run. This is kind of what I'm feeling. I could definitely change this up in the future. Nothing is set in stone. It's just what I'm feeling at the moment. Now, there's also one other RizeGreymon you could run, and that is from the EX4 set. That one is a little bit more aggressive when having a Digivolve cost. You apply a minus DP reduction to the field and to opponent's security, with the Inheritable doing the same thing. You won't see that in a lot of builds. Now, I personally do like it for a few reasons. The art is gorgeous. I like the extra DP reduction to the security, considering that we're having low body swing as security. So I don't think it's a bad card, but I think I just get a little bit more values from these, and I think you'll agree you'll see that in most builds. But if you like the card, if you like some of the extra aggression that it can give you, I don't think it's a bad card. Definitely run it. Definitely think about testing it out. It's worth a shot. Now moving on to our boss monster, we are running 4 copies of ShineGreymon from BT12. This is the bread and butter of the deck. Digivolve 3 from a level 5 RizeGreymon. When Digivolving, for each yellow and or red tamer you have in play, one of your opponent's Digimon and all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3000 DP for the turn, making sure we make those security checks extra cushiony. And then your turn, all your Marcus Daemon in play get plus 3000 DP and gain security attack plus 1. Those Marcuses are going to tear through security. And we're going to offset that with 2 copies of the new ShineGreymon from BT13. Has a Digivolve 3 cost from a level 5 RizeGreymon. Start your main phase and when Digivolving, until the end of your opponent's turn, one of your Marcus Daemon is also treated as a 3000 DP Digimon that can't Digivolve and gains blocker, adding a bit of a defensive element to the deck where previously there was none. It's also a good way to cheat out some extra Marcus swings if you're not seeing the other pieces to make it happen. And then all turns, once per turn, when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6000 DP. That's quite a lot. Now, when I was first running this, I was running 3 and 3 up to both of them to kind of get a feel for them. I definitely feel like I was liking seeing the classic ShineGrey a little bit more. That extra security attack plus 1 and DP increasing for the Marcuses really help close down those games a lot quicker. Whereas this ShineGreymon allows me, we can get an extra Marcus out to swing instead of giving that Marcus an extra oomph. But also adds a nice defensive element, making that Marcus a blocker, and that way when it does block, because of its all turns ability, a Digimon gets minus 6000 DP, which can be really detrimental with the right combo. For our level 7s, the beast mode is here finally, ShineGreymon Burst mode. So if you're unfamiliar with how Burst evolution works, it is normally a 5 cost Evo on top of a level 6, but with Burst Digivolve, we can Digivolve for 0 from a ShineGreymon by returning a Marcus Daemon to our hand. At the end of the Burst Digivolution turn, we trash this card, essentially de-Digivolving back to whatever is below it. When Digivolving, you may play one Marcus Daemon from your hand without paying the cost. For the turn, this tamer played by this effect is also treated as a 12,000 DP Digimon that can't Digivolve and gains Rush. And then your turn, when one of your tamers becomes suspended, trash the top card of your opponent's security. So we can get the ShineGreymon up, swing with the Marcus, after that return it back with Burst mode, replay it again, swing again for another check because it has Rush. Doing that second check will trash top card security, hopefully allowing Burst mode to swing for game. Now sometimes that aggression is not enough to win the game. Sometimes you just need to stall for a little bit more control in your build. So we are running 1 copy of ShineGreymon Ruin mode from EX4. This has a Digivolve 4 cost from a ShineGreymon. When Digivolving and on deletion until the end of your opponent's turn, all your opponent's Digimon get minus 5000 DP. So hopefully we can trigger both of those in a turn and we'll do minus 10k DP across the board. There is not a lot of decks and not a lot of Digimon that are prepared to handle that. End of attack, delete this Digimon and one of your opponent's Digimon and recovery plus 1. Then if you have a tamer in play, hatch a Digi-Egg into empty space. Again, talking minus 10k to the board, we're deleting an opponent's Digimon. We are recovering, and we are setting up early for next turn by go ahead and hatching a new stack and raising. This is the definition of, hold on, you're not playing next turn, I need one more turn card. Moving on to our tamers, you cannot not run 4 copies of Marcus Damon from BT12. This is the guy. I told you earlier, ShineGreymon's the boss monster. I lied to you, it's Marcus Damon. Start of your main phase, if you have a Digimon with Agumon or Greymon in its name in play, by paying 1 memory for the turn, this tamer is also treated as a Digimon with 3000 DP and can't Digivolve. This is where those other cards, like the gain 1 memory Agumon or the Agumon that turns the Marcus into a Digimon by itself, can kind of help offset that 1 cost Evo. And then your turn, when this tamer becomes suspended, one of your Digimon may Digivolve into a yellow card with Greymon in its name in your hand without paying the cost. Marcus will be checking security and turbo evolving for us, triggering maybe even more effects to play even more Marcus. You never know. Now you might assume we're playing 4 Marcus of the next one as well, but we are actually playing 3 BT13 Marcus. It's a 5 cost hard drop. Start of your turn, if you have 2 or fewer memory, set it to 3. On play, you may suspend this tamer. All turns, when this tamer becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn. Then if you have a Digimon with Agumon or Greymon in its name, gain 1 memory. You might be asking, why is he running just 3 of his Marcus? So originally we were running 4, and I found that a lot of times I would just have them on the field instead of this guy for various reasons. We can go into a long explanation later, but this guy wouldn't be around that much. I'd have like all 4 of this dude. And if you're not specifically seeing the Digimon to make him into a Digimon with like by themselves, he's kind of a dead card on the field. Now the memory correcting is great, right? Still running him at 3 because I want to see him. We are going to see him. But I want to make room for some more cards that will allow me to play more Marcuses rather than just focus on playing 4 of this guy. I'm not saying that's the best way to play it, but I got kind of tired of seeing him and I wanted to scale it back a bit. And so that's what I did, and I've been playing with that for a while, and I think I like it. We might go back to 4. Definitely not here to sell you on that. If you want to run 4, definitely run 4. It's a great card regardless. There is so much value that can be had from this thing getting checked out security that having 4 of is not like a bad thing. Definitely not a bad thing. So what are we putting in with all the extra space? You might wonder, well, I have my WarGreymon deck and my Blue Flare deck already to play a bunch of Digimon already. I wanted something a little different. I wanted to go a little bit more option cardy control for my Yellow Greymon build. So we are starting with 3 copies of Shining Blast from BT12, a 5-drop option card. You may play 1 Marcus Damon from your hand without paying the cost. Then for each yellow and or red tamer you have in play, 3 of your opponent's Digimon get minus 2000 DP, and we are offsetting that with a 1 copy, or 1 legal copy, of Sunrise Buster. 5 cost also, you may play any red or yellow tamer from your hand without paying its cost, and then 1 of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for each yellow or red tamer you have in play. Very similar costs, very similar effects, both of them with the goal of getting out of Marcus and doing major DP reduction to the board. If you use it to play this Marcus, of course, for 5 cost, you play down a 5 cost Marcus, making it the exact same cost, but this Marcus on play can suspend himself, do even more DP reduction, and then gain a memory. So essentially you just have 4 cost option cards to mess up a bunch of Digimon on the board. That's pretty cool. In our last option card, we are running 1 copy of Reinforcing Memory Boost. Again, this is another limited card, only 1 allowed. It has a cost of 6. Main effect, reveal top 2 cards of the deck. Place one of them on top of your security stack face down. Add the remaining card to your hand, and then this card goes in the battle area. Any turn after that, we may use its delay effect to gain 3 memory. So the best starting hand I like to see, of course, is I want to see 2 Agumons, preferably a searching Agumon and a non-searching Agumon. Particularly maybe the draw 1 card here. We can evolve this guy in raising, hard play this Agumon for 3 to do our searching, maybe grab a Marcus and a Greymon if we're lucky. On our following turn, very rare that opponent has something to aggressively get rid of the searcher, or at least is willing to spend the memory to do so, but not impossible. We can hopefully move up, and my favorite, of course, 1-2 combo is we will evolve this Agumon to a GeoGreymon. allowing us to play a Marcus, who will also tap, triggering draw a card, minus DP to something, killing my opponent's searcher perhaps, as well as gain a memory, making this essentially a 1-cost evolve, and now we have a free memory corrector out. Fantastic opening piece. And then maybe we will evolve this Agumon into a GeoGreymon 2. Searching security to grab either of these Marcuses here, of course, grabbing another memory, making both of them a 1-cost evolve, or even preferably grabbing this BT12 Marcus, so we can really start aggressively on our next turn moving up. With those now in play there, and we've wiped out whatever our opponent has put on the board, if we're feeling really cheeky and aggressive, I love to evolve into RizeGreymon to play out maybe a third Marcus. Perhaps even another BT12 Marcus would be preferred. And that's a solid turn 2. We did all of that on our second turn. If your opponent had to take some time to set up, you're in a major aggressive place. And I love opening like this because on our next turn, which we are guaranteed to start at 3 because our memory corrector, we can spend our memories to move up our Marcuses, swing. This guy Digivolves into ShineGreymon for free, allowing this Marcus to check 2 checks. If he dies, he's recovering right back to security. Fantastic. We can swing the other one, Digivolve this one to RizeGreymon, play another Marcus. And then we can go into burst mode, play another Marcus. We can have the game done by turn 3. It's nuts. It's nuts how explosive this deck can be sometimes. But that is my ShineGreymon build. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more Digimon content coming your way. We've also started putting gameplay videos up on the channel, so if you want to see some Digimon games, be sure to follow them in the in-video links there. You guys have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you guys next time.